Hello there. Welcome to the Daughters of the Moon. We're going to do your October reading now. We're hoping that it's going to give you some insight for the full month of October. Plus, we've got some new things coming up in the new year of 2025. So please stay in touch with us. Anyways, we'll get on to the readings now. Kimmy's going to start this time.
Oh, goody. All right. Mixing it up. Okay, so the cards that I chose are Earth Magic by Stephen D. Farmer. And the card that came out was Milky Way, and it's about perspective. So what I pick up from this card is that it's really a time of doing some, because it's almost like this is going inwards with the vortex or whatever you want to call it. So it's almost like you need to be doing, I feel like October is still a time of really doing some inner reflections and looking at where we are going and what we want to do and taking our perspective on things. Because I think so often we get clouded up by other people's perspective of what we should be doing and where we should be heading, that we often forget that we need to listen to our own instincts. And I think this is really a time of speaking up about what it is that you really do want out of.
Yeah, I think too, because in summertime we're so busy and we forget to do that, right? So it makes sense that it would come through in the month of October.
Yeah,
So
it totally does.
I'll hold that for you while you do your little whatchamacallit.
All right. After I put some little glasses on. Okay, says the Milky Way is said to be one of billions of galaxies in the observable universe. It contains between 200 to 400 billion stars, the one most familiar to us being the sun. The oldest star in our galaxy is 13.2 billion years old, said to be nearly as old as the universe itself, and the Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. Distances are measured in light years, and the Milky Way galaxy is believed to be 100,000 light years in diameter. The enormity and vastness stagger the mind and challenge the imagination, yet it also gives us some notion of where we fit in this. Considered from this perspective, our usual frame of reference is to put to the task. We're faced with the choice of abandoning our myopic vision in favor of seeing and accepting the bigger picture, or we can just allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by a sense of smallness and helplessness. Yet know that we've composed of material from those very stars that inhabit the Milky Way. Thus, we're connected to Earth and the entire universe at all times in life and in death. It says you have lost your perspective, so it is time to step back, breathe, and allow yourself to detach in order to gather information from your senses and gain your perspective about the situation. Detachment does not mean that you no longer care. It simply indicates that you are looking at things from a different point of view. It is an outlook that is not clouded by emotions, judgment, or attachment to outcome, but instead maintains a non-reactive awareness of these things. The witness, that internal aspect of yourself that simply observes everything in your life, offers his or her eyes here. Through these lenses of pure awareness, you can examine all aspects of your experiences, physical, emotional, and mental, without denying anything. By doing so, you will come to understand a greater perspective than is typically justified by the ego, which allows you to see what is before you with a clear vision and open mind.
Isn't that the truth?
Yes.
Well, it's hard to add to that. But I mean, and it is true, like with perspective, go and find what it is that it gives you the what you need. Like Kimmy said, like over the summer, we're so busy doing other things than that when it comes to the fall again, it's time to go back inside our own selves and find out what we lacked over the summer, what we want to build on in the slower months of winter. It doesn't matter if you're in a cold climate or not. Perspective is grabbing what you need for you, sort of thing. That's what I get from that, and collective to what Kimmy said too.
Yeah.
So nice card, Kim.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, my card is called Moving On, and the card is by the Psychic Tarot of the Heart by John Holland. Moving on. It's like footsteps in the sand, right? Moving on means leaving things behind that you don't need anymore. Again, it goes very well with perspective, because you're looking for something for you. If you're moving on, that means you want to change something. Now, it doesn't mean you have to really move from one place to another. It could mean that too. But it does mean that moving on from, if you're stagnant at the moment, moving on to a brighter place and a better place for you. Or moving on can be in a relationship too. Putting what you need in the relationship that's important to you in front of you so you can move into it and leave anything that's not warranted for you to leave it behind. So that's a really good card
That is
to go with the perspective card. It really does match it well.
Mhm.
The keywords for this one is change, cycle, stagnation, and authenticity. Change is a necessary part of the natural world. This is also true of relationships. As a person evolves, so must a relationship or it will stagnate. This card is a reminder to examine your current relationships to see if they still feed your soul and help you to grow. Are you staying in a relationship because it seems okay and that's no real reason to end it, but you feel like something is missing? Do your relationship have substance and bring you joy? Are you able to be your authentic self in your relationships? You have to remember that in relationships, it doesn't mean necessarily of a partner that you're with. It means relationships with anybody, and whether it be in a relationship of a business, a relationship of a partner, a relationship with your friends, relationship in business. It's a whole collective of things. So I just wanted to add that to it so you can put that into your perspective of where you want to go with this. The card suggests that it may be a time to walk away in some respect. This can be a natural ending of a relationship or simply taking a break of a soul search. This is your time. Give yourself the space and permission to determine what you need and what you want, and then decide if you can be found in the current relationship as it exists now. If not, it may be an important time to make some essential changes. Change is good. People are afraid to change, and moving on is a tough one because we have a hard time moving on sometimes because we're afraid of changing what it's going to give us. But if we don't take change, then we can't get anything better for ourselves. So our perspective is gone,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you, Kim.
Well,
Oh, did you want to elaborate?
no, I just, the only thing that I caught with it from what you said and kind of what the card said was just, it is about moving on and looking at things from a different perspective. And if we stop, kind of doing that soul search and just kind of, sometimes it's like looking at a picture. If you look for, you tilt your head or something like that, you got a different perspective. And so with what I heard you say and what I heard in the card was, just look at things from a different perspective and decide where you need to move on in your life.
Yeah. And it's funny because you can be sitting and looking at a person and you're getting messages while you're even looking at that person. And those messages are telling you what you need to be changing. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to leave the relationship or whatever it may be, but just means your intention needs to be a little bit more focused on what it is that they're trying to tell you, what Spirit's trying to say to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good one. And it's funny because I know we were just having this conversation beforehand. It's like looking at the night sky. We were both talking about really looking at the night sky. It's like it just gives you, I don't know, for me, it's like I get an inner perspective by watching the stars and things like that, just to reflect on,
Yeah.
the vastness of the universe.
Because it's so, so big.
So the cards, the second deck I chose is the Healing Spirits by Gordon Smith, and the card is Inner Space and Universal Knowing. So
Pretty card.
interesting. I chose both of them.
Very pretty.
About the space. So I'm going to read it first and then I'll give you my thoughts. But it says, when you are ready to receive higher spiritual wisdom, you must prepare your mind for it. Working with your spirit guide through meditation and clearing any chaotic thinking will ensure you are ready to work with a higher aspect of spiritual wisdom. Your spirit guide is working hard to get you there, so you must work with them and create a good inner space. Work on yourself now and prepare for new knowledge and opportunities to follow. So I think it's the same as the other card in saying, right, like what they were talking about is really, meditate and really find that inner peace within yourself and allow yourself to just let your imagination roam wild and see where you need to be going and the perspective that you need to take on different things. So I think they just meld so nicely in together.
They really do, all three cards at this point.
Yeah.
When you look into the sky, you can find your inner space. And if you look deeply at this card too, it looks like a face that's in it. But so is the stars when you look into them. I like to look at them, like Kimmy says. I remember when they were younger, I'd say to the kids, look up in the stars, what do you see? Look at the clouds, what do you see? And it is like that. Look up into, try to find what it is you're looking for. And if you think long and hard at it and let spirit guide you, you'll get what you want. And you'll learn to trust too, on what you see in front of you and helps to guide you. We have so many people when I do readings for them, they say, how do you know? How do you know? It's called trusting is one thing. Looking at what you're seeing in front of you, but see past it. See past what's in front of you, because there's always other things around it that you need to know. It may be something you're hearing in the background, something that comes to light in the background, but all those things matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And it's almost like a North Star there, right? So
Yeah.
it's almost like if you follow your intuition and you really listen to your gut, like you were saying, and trust, you will find that North Star to show you where the path is that you need to be going down.
And sometimes it's just a little glimmer that comes up, like spirit moves fast most times. And so to trust, you have to be able to catch it quickly, and just trust it when you see it. So we get wrong sometimes. Does that make us bad? No, it does not. It means that we're going to make us better for next time.
That's right.
Okay, this next one I picked is called Native Spirit, and it's done by Denise Linn. Pretty cards. And okay, the one I would pick as if it would be a smudging ceremony. I do a lot of that. Now, smudging to me is clearing the way for newness. You can also use smudge to take away the old. So if you want something to go away, you can use smudge to do that. Smudge is also about clearing the way for newness to come into your life. So you can open up and you can see things and you're opening your heart at the same time. Like when you're smudging, you're also opening your heart, your mind, everything around you to call upon whatever it is that you're looking for. So to me, when I see smudging, it means clearing the way, making things brighter for you, setting up a new perspective of where you want to go and what you want to do. Okay, smudging is about erasing anything you don't want and bringing the new in. And that's what I think it's doing. And it's talking about the month of October, because we've gone through summer here now, coming into the winter months, and that we are in a slower time of the year. So this is a time to clear your space, open it up, to let the newness come to your way, because your newness is, we were talking about coming into January, where we're going to be working on a new year and how we want that to take place in our lives and that kind of thing. And we're thinking about doing a yearly reading too coming up here. Now it's out there. It means we have to do it. Because we were talking about it, that's why. Anyway, smudging is a great thing. And, people use it for all different reasons. Kim and I use it a lot. We often do it before we even do the cards and things like that, to make sure that you get exactly what we're trying to push through from spirit to you on the time of our reading. Anyways, enough of my yattery part here. I'll read what the card says. Smudging ceremony. Okay, the card meaning. Let go of the past, purify, detox, release whatever doesn't serve you, support you in your life. Cleanse your body and environment by doing space clearing and cluttering clearing. Let go of the old, discarded and unused to make way for the new energy and new beginnings. Eat lightly, drink lots of fresh water, and consume food which is strong with life force. Your nature spirit wants you to know. Smudging is a native tradition that involves using the smoke of burning herbs to symbolically wash a space in a ceremony matter. Sometimes your energy field or the energy field of your environment becomes so cluttered and dingy that you can't see the world around you clearly, and you have trouble hearing the messages from your soul. When you take the time to purify yourself and your environment, not only do you feel lighter and brighter, but also you're a clearer channel for the light. The brilliance that pours through you and heal can help many people. But first, the path has to be clear, and that's the truth. The journey. Using the smoke of incense or sage, cup your hands into the smoke and wash over the top of your head, saying, that I think clearly now. The cup that the smoke into your eyes, saying, I may see the truth. Next thing, bring the smoke to your throat area, saying, that I may speak my truth. Finally, waft the smoke to the heart area and saying, now I open my heart. Opening your heart and opening your mind also in clearing and bringing newness to you is the best thing you can do, because your heart has to be there in order to make this work too. Because we're supposed to be, we're trying to bring the best out there to everybody, not just ourselves. So when you open that up, then you open this up too, to clearly make your way and your vision.
Mhm.
Your turn. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that was perfect.
I was jittery.
And I think because we're going into the fall time and stuff like that, and it's like we're hitting the harvest and things like that, with the farmers and things like that, and they're bringing all these things in. It's like with this smudging thing in our personal lives, we're clearing that space so that we can move on if we need to, or look at things from a different perspective. We can watch that smoke and maybe see visions of something that we need for ourselves that are coming. And I think I love how she says the decluttering, because this is a perfect time to do it, because you're getting, you're putting all your summer things away, and why not look at them in a different perspective to say, did I use this? Does it still bring me joy? Does it hold the space in my place? Or do I just need to let it go? Whether that's giving it to a friend, donating it, selling it, whatever it may be. It just is really a time to, because it also clears your space and
Yeah.
allows you that newness. Because if we always just hold on to the past things, we can't move on from things and create new opportunities for ourselves, because we've always got one foot stuck in the past. So
True.
that's what I get for it.
Good
So
summation, Kimmy. That was a really good summation. And put all 4 cards right back at it, sort of thing. It's great how these cards love to come together and to give them the message each
yeah,
month.
it
Yeah.
really does. So we hope you have a great October, and it's Halloween month, so that's a perfect month, October.
It
And
sure
we hope you have a great one. And if you liked what you heard, please do like and share and leave a
Please
positive
do.
review, because it does help us out in the podcast world. So
Yep. And look us for all the different places, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We're on them all. Heart Radio, that kind of thing. Look us up and look at some of our episodes. We have some beautiful people on there.
yes,
Thank
we
you.
definitely do. Thank you. We'll see you the next time.
You bet.